This person wasn't there for you. When you needed them the most, Aries, this person wasn't there for you. But you felt like, you and this person were so close. At least at one time, y'all were so close. And you just felt, or you just knew that when you were going through a terrible time in your life and you needed help, you just knew that that person would be there for you, and they weren't. They didn't stand by you. They didn't help you out. They weren't even a friend, cuz that's what a friend would do. A friend would at least help you out or do something. And this person didn't do anything. I'm hearing this person didn't do nothing other than give you some useless words that didn't even help you out. Everybody goes through a period in their life where they need a little help. Everybody. Everybody does. Unless you're a billionaire. But even billionaires need help sometimes. But what I'm hearing is that you just needed a little help. That's it. Just to help you get on your feet or help you get out of a bad situation. That's all you needed. And this person was not there for you. They were not there. And it broke your heart. And I want you to remember this. It broke your heart because you felt like this person was going to be there for you. Y'all were friends. And they weren't. And it broke your heart. It took a long time to get over it. And now this person has seen you, and guess what? Now this person needs a friend. Oh, really? Now they need a friend? Oh, now they need help? Now that you finally settled? Finally you've gotten yourself on your feet? Oh, now they need help. Now they're looking at you. This person saw you somewhere. They're convinced that you saw them. They're convinced that you ignored them on purpose. I don't think so. I think you didn't see them. I think you were busy doing your own thing. But this person's convinced that you ignored them. And now they're watching you. Now they want some help. Now they need your help. Now they're trying to figure out what excuse can they come up with or what can they say. Because they know. You know what I mean? They know they did wrong. That's not how you treat somebody. Especially somebody that you call friend. That's not the way you treat a friend. For some of you, this could even be a family member, which makes it even worse. Because, if it's a family member, you've known them all your life. Like, what kind of person is this? Oh, but now they want your help. Oh, yeah. This person's going through something now. But the thing is they see that you have already gotten on your feet. They want to talk to you now. They want to know what you did. How'd you do it? How'd you get back on your feet? They want to know. That's what it is. The thing is that just because you are a loving person doesn't mean that you're going to forget what they did. How can you forget? This person literally shut the door in your face. Yes, maybe not physically, but literally, like when you needed that help, you were expecting it. You were like, oh, for sure that person was going to help you. And they didn't. And the little advice that they gave you wasn't enough. I mean, it wasn't something that could actually help you. It was more of I'm hearing like, it was more of a lecture. Like, well, if you didn't do this, or, maybe if you did more of that, that kind of thing. Or maybe if you didn't have a tattoo, you would have money. Tattoos is a one-time thing. I don't know why people use that as an example. But I'm just going to use that as an example because I know a lot of people do. They say, oh, well, if you look at your tattoos, and these are tattoos you got 10 years ago, and they believe that if you got 10, tattoos 10 years ago, that should be enough to buy you groceries for the next 10, 20 years. It don't make no sense. You don't need tattoos are not a monthly thing. It's not something you pay every month. It's not a bill. You know, it's a one time thing. My tattoos, I got them years ago. Let me think. I got these tattoos I think like 22 years ago. Yeah. So you're telling me that I think I paid $60 for them for both of them. So $60 20 years ago is supposed to be something that's going to help me today. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't make no sense, okay? But that's the kind of advice that this person gave you, I'm hearing. Like, they said something very similar to that effect. Something that was supposed to be helpful, at least that's what they're thinking, but it wasn't really helping when all you really needed was possibly a loan, just borrow some money so you could pay it back later on once you get back on your feet. That's it. That's it. Just a little help to get you on your feet. That's all you needed. And this person couldn't even do that. You know what I mean? They couldn't even do that. I mean, it's like, hello, you know? Well, guess what? Now this person's finding themselves in a bad situation and they're looking at you and they're like, "Oh, well, Aries will help me out." And they're expecting you to actually do something that's going to be helpful. Yeah. Like what they should have done with you. You know what I mean? What they should have done, but didn't. Now this person's over there sitting there like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But they didn't. And you know what? Even after they did that and said no, time went by. Time had passed by. You were struggling. They could have always came back and been like, "Oh, let me go ahead and help you out." But they didn't. They watched you struggle. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this because this person is definitely planning something out here, and I'm hearing it's going to be a guilt trip. A guilt trip. This person's going to try to guilt trip you. And they're going to try to make it seem like they're innocent. They didn't know any better. They knew better. They're an adult. They're an adult. They know. They know how hard things are. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is not something that happened recently. This is something that happened a while back. Okay? So, yes, they were younger. But they were still of age that they knew better. Okay? So, let's just put it that way. They were still at an age where they knew better. So, like, for instance, what's coming to mind, maybe back then they were 30 and now they're 50 or 60 years old now. Something like that. Okay? But at 30 years old, come on, you know. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But they're going to try to use that as an excuse. I want you to know. They're going to say, "Oh, I was younger. I was young. And you know how life is." And, oh, yeah, they're thinking about things right now. Aries, listen. And they're like playing things out, what they're going to say. They're playing it out in their head, what you're going to say. They're already trying to come up with, verbatim. You say this, they're going to say this. If you say that, they're going to say this or that, right? They're already planning it out verbatim of what they're going to say. How they're going to make you feel guilty. How you going to feel sympathetic toward them. They're gonna come up, "Oh, you know how hard it is." Of course you know how hard it is. You went through that hard period by yourself. Some of you even with your children. Oh, of course you know how hard it is. You were in that hard spot for a long, long time. Oh yeah, you know how hard it is. But they're gonna say that. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you know how hard it is." For some of you, you might be a parent. You might have had children with you when you were going through this. No help from anybody. Which makes it even harder and worse that you had to go through that with children. And some of you had pets. And pets are just like children. Well, at least mine are, you know? Yeah. Which makes it even harder. You know what I mean? It's bad enough to go through it and you're completely alone. It's so much worse when you have somebody smaller or more vulnerable that's depending on you. You know what I mean? That just amplifies it even like 100% worse. You know what I mean? And you're trying to like juggle everything. Because I'm seeing here like you had to juggle everything for a long time. And the thing is that once you hit bottom, once you hit, a period where you can't cover your bills or you're going through a financial crisis, it is hell getting out of it. Of course it is, and you know that. And that's why this person's going to say that to you. They're going to be like, you know how hard it is. Once you get down, you know how hard it is to get out. Of course you do. And they did too. And they still made you go through that. When all they needed to do was give you a little help. Mm-mm. No. No. Aries, do not help this person. Let them sit in their own misery. I know it sounds cold-blooded, but sometimes you just got to be cold-blooded then. If you feel that way, if that's the description that you want to call this being cold-blooded, it's not cold-blooded. All you're going to do is just treat them the way that they've been treating you. That's it. That's it. Treat them exactly the way they treated you. They weren't there for you. But wow, look at them. They're going to come running to you because they're planning to, They're planning to come running to you because now they're going through it. Now they're struggling. But guess what? They're seeing things going really good for you. Yeah, they're keeping an eye on you. They're watching you. They're watching you and they're seeing things going good for you. They're seeing things moving up for you. They're seeing that you got a new beginning. They're seeing that you're doing so much good. You got this creative something going on that is creative. You got something going on. You got things going on in your life and you're stable. You're stable. See, they're not stable now. Before you weren't stable and they were. And they didn't throw you a fish line out, like let me help you out. No, they didn't do that. But are you kidding me? Now they're expecting you to do it for them? No, right now they think that you ignored them. So right now they're planning things out of what they're going to say, how they're going to get you to talk to them. You know what I mean? They're going to try to create a situation so you'll talk to them. And then they'll know what to say and they're going to say this and that and make you feel bad and they're just running it through their head already because they're looking for a lifeline and they know that you have a big heart. They know you have a big heart. They know that you like helping people. They've seen you help people. Yeah. Oh yeah. This person's getting ready to come around and ask you for help. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're going to ask for money, okay? And don't get me wrong. Looks like their intentions are to pay you back. Eventually, right? They're going to pay you back. But that's not the point. You know what you need to do? Tell them to go, use their credit card. Or they're going to say something like, oh, I can't. My credit cards are maxed or whatever it is. Tell them to go to get a payday loan. I don't know. I'm just giving you examples of what you could say. But don't help this person. I wouldn't. They don't deserve it. They never deserved you, I'll tell you that. This person never deserved you to be a friend or a relative or whatever it is that this person is to you. They never deserved you in their life, period. But now, all of a sudden, now they want you. So Aries, you got somebody coming in. They're going to be asking you for help. They might even be asking you for a place to stay. Yeah. Can you believe it? asking you for a place to stay, asking you for this and that, or for one of you maybe to leave their stuff at your house, or if they can park in front of your house, something like that. That's what I'm seeing here. We got angel number 00 is coming out for you. It says, angels ask for your attention. Open your eyes, listen, and think about everything that is happening. Trust your intuition and follow their guidance without any delay. Focus inward through meditation and prayer. I am observant. These other ones also came out. I am observant and I am powerful. You are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. Well, yeah, you are. You could be a positive light to this person. Don't get me wrong, Aries. Okay? You could still be a positive light to this person, but you don't have to help them. Do unto others as they have done to you. You know what I'm saying? Do unto others as they have done to you. And I firmly believe that. I am a mirror, okay? I am a mirror. I treat people the way that they treat me. You know what I mean? And somebody is rude to me, I'll take it for just a little while, and eventually I'll become rude back. Be a mirror. Mirror this person's actions. The way that they've been treating you, you treat them the same way. They treated you like you were a stranger. Now it's your turn. You treat them like a stranger. Because that's what they did. And they deserve it. And they know they deserve it. I think I'm going to leave these are the two that came out. This one came behind this one. I think I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I am powerful and I am observant. So do put that in the comment section. Before y'all leave, guys, I want you to know one of y'all has asked about my cut. It's a long story, so I'm just going to tell y'all really quickly. I have some new neighbors that moved in and down my street, and they have like 3 beautiful dogs. They like to walk them. I live in a very, very rural area, right? I got cows over here, horses behind me, and people out here normally don't walk their dogs up and down the street, but it's, they can do that. I mean, it's their business, right? The thing is my dogs tend to think that they own the whole neighborhood. And because over here nobody walks their dogs up and down the street. And so to make sure that my dogs don't get aggressive with their dogs, I just don't want it to be a problem. I've been taking my dogs out on a leash, and it's one of those retractable leashes. So while I'm outside walking around in the yard, I want one of them to be with me, I have to keep them on a leash. And I was carrying a box, and the strap had the retractable leash in my hand, and I was carrying a box, and the leash was on this side, and it came over my arm. And then my dog, I don't know, Stuart, he saw something, took off running. So when he did, it went and gave me the worst. This is like the worst rug burn I've ever received. It is getting infected, I think. And oh my gosh, it hurts way worse than it looks, guys. But that's what happened. Stuart got me. So now I have to be really careful. And this is not the first time that has happened to me. Those things are kind of dangerous if you're not careful. Especially if you're trying to do other things while you're holding them, and then the dog is like wrapping themselves around you and doing things. They could be kind of dangerous. Anyways, I thought I'd answer that question. And guys, catch me in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, I will be doing another reading. And I always say it, I always intend to, and I always end up getting so busy. But guys, right now I'm doing some deep spring cleaning around here. I'm going through boxes, getting rid of stuff. I highly suggest that you do the same thing, because of course, if your house is clean and organized, it just makes you feel better. It just makes you feel more put together, right? So let's all get together, do some spring cleaning. All right, guys, y'all take care. Catch me in the next one.